Well, thank you for having me.
You can make a trip?
I mean, you know, I heard they needed me on Monday, so I was prepared for this young man right here.
You know, if you're going to wear a bow tie, you might want to trim the beard. I can barely see the thing underneath that.
Well, you know what, Max? It's about being sexy. You know, only I can talk about
He's
that.
bringing sexy back.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
By the way, I have to clean something up. As several people have reminded me on Twitter, I had my wires crossed. I said Dallas manhandled Denver when it was exactly the other way around.
Absolutely.
That was when the offensive line was not yet together, and Denver
Where were they at?
did whatever they wanted.
I mean, did they miss breakfast? What happened? They looked like they were at the game to me.
Yeah, they destroyed Dallas in the game. Yeah.
But Denver got destroyed by the Bird game. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's talk about the Bird game.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Big time basketball numbers, dropping 51. Is Philly now the team to beat in the NFL?
Well, they are, and let's look at it in so many ways. I mean, offensively, Carson Wentz is coming into his own. I think offensively, moving in the trade for Ajay gives them another added weapon in the backfield with LeGarrette Blount, also with Smallwood. I'm still waiting on Alshon Jeffries to kind of develop into that number one wide receiver, especially with Zach Ertz and the way that he's established himself down the middle of the football field. But again, you have to look at the offensive line. With Jason Peters going out, I thought they did a really good job of protecting his backside. And also,
the big V.
Absolutely, and being able to give Carson Wentz some time. Now, it wasn't stellar numbers. It wasn't, 65 to 75 completion percentage, but yet still he protected the football. He put his team in great position to score. And defensively, you can't say much more about what they've been able to do in their front seven. Establishing the line of scrimmage, getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and then for that secondary to create turnovers like they did. That gives good field position for the offense. And then also, they're been able to connect in the red zone. Says a lot that they're the number one team right now in football.
They're the number one team in the NFL right now. I'm still hoping that the curse of the Philadelphia Eagles, and that will ruin them in the Super Bowl.
Relax, the curse.
You know that better than anyone, Donovan.
Easy.
You were in the NFC Championship game every year for 100 years. The point is, I got to hope that holds because I mean, if they listen, this is the best team in the NFL right now, and it's really they have everything down right now. They have all facets of the game. Like you say, well, they could still get better as a lead receiver. The receiving core is good enough now, and the running game is good enough now, and Carson Wentz can do so many different things that it's not just a read option, it's a triple read option, right? Because he is credible as a threat to run. You have a running game, and you got guys who can release down the field and guys who can do things. You mentioned Ertz and Alshon Jeffrey. They have guys who can really make plays. So you have to worry about so much offensively with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I said this all of last year. When Lane Johnson was in, they were trending toward elite. I expected if their offensive line could hold, they'd be elite this year. But something even better happened for the Eagles. Their offensive line didn't hold. They lost a guy more valuable than Lane Johnson. First, you saw Vaitai. Is that how you pronounce his name? I never know how to pronounce his name. Sub-in for Lane Johnson on the right side. Then Peters goes down. They don't just move the right tackle to left tackle. The big guy moves over to left tackle, starts there, and they're still holding it down with their best offensive lineman and their second best offensive lineman sometimes down. But the best guy out for the season, they're still holding it down. They can beat you so many different ways offensively. Their defense has been good for a year and a half now. The Eagles are the best team in the NFL, and Carson Wentz is, as I've been telling people, he's better than Dak Prescott. He's the best young quarterback in the game, and right now, he's the MVP of the league.
Well, first of all, as much as I'm impressed by Carson Wentz, I'm not willing to say he's better than Dak Prescott. That's number one. Number two, even though I admit for the moment, right now, the Eagles have the best record in football, and we have to look at them. Just for the purposes of this conversation, let me expand it just a little bit. If you're talking about in this moment, fine, I get all of that because they got the best record. They just won. They just romped Denver yesterday. But for me personally, I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm looking at a team. I'm looking at a team that's number 2 defensively, number 2 against the pass. I'm looking at the acquisition of Joe Hayden and how he's helped buffer that secondary. The way Mike Mitchell and Sean Davis and Artie Burns and these boys have been playing. This is an issue that's been a problem for the Steelers for years. Their secondary. That doesn't appear to be the case right now. And then I think about offensively. Certainly right now in the moment, the Eagles, they've been flowing. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But here's the deal. Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith, none but respect for you. Zach Ertz didn't play yesterday. Brent Selleck filled in nicely with a couple of receptions. I get all that. Nelson Aguilar has showed up. Don't have alligator arms this year. He's balling. I give him nothing but respect. I give him nothing but respect. But Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster,
I'm not going to allow you to do this.
Jesse James, at the tight end spot.
You going to throw Jesse James in there?
I'm going to throw him in there. What I'm saying to you is this. I look at the personnel of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I listened to my man Ryan Clark on SportsCenter last night at midnight talking about how the Steelers could meet the Eagles, and that's why I'm thinking about this right now. I'm saying, excuse me, Do I really want to give the Eagles this kind of love? Well, I'll give them that love over the Cowboys, but everybody else in the NFL, let's just pump the brakes.
And all Pennsylvania,
you are so disrespectful.
Watch your mouth, rookie. You watch your mouth, rookie.
Stop with that
You better watch
Get your stuff together.
Rookie. It's television, rookie.
First of all, let's compare the two. The problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers each year has been their health. Can Ben Roethlisberger stay healthy? Will Antonio Brown get upset because he's not getting enough? You had your chance to talk. Give me a chance to talk.
Okay, assume health.
Offensive line, I think, is going to be a problem going against that front four from the Philadelphia Eagles if they happen to meet. I think the front seven of the Philadelphia Eagles will overpower the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, absolutely. First of all, Fletcher Cox in the middle is a problem coming off the edge. Then you have all these guys, young guys coming off.
I'm not worried about that.
First of all,
I'm not worried about those.
Anyway, and then you want to look at defensively from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you really think the Pittsburgh Steelers will be able to guard the middle of the football field with Zach Ertz and what he's been able to do? Nelson Aguilar getting over the top. The problem with Mitchell is he gets a problem looking into the backfield, and then he gets beat over the top. Now, so if they happen to meet
him over the top,
Aguilar is
you're missing the biggest advantage they have, which is, I hate to say it, Stephen A., at quarterback. Wentz is better than Roethlisberger right now. He's better.
I think Roethlisberger has, obviously, we've lamented the fact that he hasn't looked as good as we would like him to look.
But you want to bump him up in this conversation.
Because I'm anticipating that the personnel that he has. I can't anticipate.
You ain't even anticipating the last couple of weeks.
The Eagles have not won a Super Bowl. The Eagles have not won a Super Bowl championship.
Why do you want to go there?
My point is, we're anticipating. So we're anticipating. Why would I anticipate anything positive about the Philadelphia Eagles other than them beating up the Cowboys?
What's going on right now? What's going on right now is the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in football, and the Pittsburgh Steelers right now are the third best team in football, and that's behind the New England Patriots, in which they can't seem to beat them either at home.
And who can the Eagles seem to beat?
They don't have to worry about beating anybody because they're going to beat everybody in the NFC to get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, you're sure about that?
Absolutely.
When did this epiphany happen for you, Donovan McNabb?
When did that happen for you? When was the last time they were 8-1? What happened when they were 8-1?
I remember that.
Going to the Super Bowl.
I remember that.
I'm not sure that that Steelers are better than the Rams right now, Stephen A.
I'm just talking AFC. They're not better than the Rams.
They can't have both of them.
We're talking Eagles. I mean, I'm not sure they're better than the Rams. If you list NFL teams right now, I don't know. Is Pittsburgh in the top 5, I guess?
Pittsburgh, to me, if you go power rankings, number 1 would be Philadelphia. Number 2 would be New England. Number 3, to me, would be the Rams. Yep. And 4 would be Pittsburgh Steelers.
What about the Cowboys, Donovan?
Why would it be the Rams?
The Cowboys are just 2 weeks on the run. Now, they beat the San Francisco 49ers, and then now you come and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, to me, were the number 1 team. Now that they've lost, the Dallas Cowboys are moving up. But would you put the Dallas Cowboys, really, at this particular point, over the Minnesota Vikings?
Yes, if they have Ezekiel Elliott, that's the big if. If they have Ezekiel Elliott, I think the Cowboys got to be in the top 4 the way they've looked against the Chiefs. And I know the season changes, teams kind of change in character over time, but the Chiefs, you can't take it away. They have wins against the Patriots and the Eagles.
That is funny that he said if they have Ezekiel Elliott. Here's the reality of the situation. We don't know. It's the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys.
Yeah.
What can go wrong will go wrong. Just take your time and wait. Okay? If it ain't Ezekiel Elliott, it'll be somebody else. Okay? Yeah. It'll be somebody else.
You can say the same thing about the Steelers recently.
Not necessarily.
You talk about injury. What about Martavis Bryant's suspension?
Martavis Bryant did that to himself. You have Juju out there being able to catch the ball. So they have talent on the outside in Pittsburgh.
They got some good Juju going on.
The Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in Pennsylvania right now.
All right, but the Rams also
I'm proud of you for at least acknowledging that much.
Yeah, you're finally on the Wentz bandwagon. I'm glad to see.
I didn't say the Wentz wagon. I said the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team.
You love playing football out there in Pennsylvania.
Hey,
I got another question for you, though. So the Rams also dropped 51 on the third best team in